Welcome! This video will teach you how to use Wooqer as a user on mobile application. The main objective of this walkthrough is to enable you to use the platform in the most effective and efficient manner, and also to highlight the best practices and do's and don'ts of the platform. Logging through the mobile application is relatively similar to the web application. The first thing that the users need to do is to go to their Wooqer application. If not installed, they'll have to install it from either the Play Store or the App Store, depending on the device they're using. Once installed, they need to open their app. The first thing that the users see when they open their Wooqer app is the login page. The users can sign in using their credentials which they receive from Wooqer over an email with a subject line, "Welcome to PI name user," once the ID is created on Wooqer. To log into their respective accounts, users have to key in their credentials on this screen. In case the mobile number is the username, then the users need to add the country code as prefix before the mobile number, without any space between all the numbers. For example, for a UAE mobile number, the users need to add 971 before the mobile number without a 0 or a plus sign. If the users forget their password, they can click on Forgot Password, receive an OTP on their registered ID, and reset their password accordingly. Once the users enter their credentials, they have to hit Login to log into their accounts. Unlike the web app, once logged in, the users land on the home screen, irrespective of their rights. The first screen shows the users a quick guide about the major elements of that screen, like the video, spotlight, surveys, to-do, and talks, etc. To explore the rest of the elements on the home screen, the users need to click on Got It button. Just like in the web application, the first thing that catches the user's eyes on the home screen is the video, which can be used as a broadcast channel to run any campaigns and also for information sharing with all the users on Wooqer. Once inside, the users can access and explore different elements of the platform depending on their rights. To access the content related to surveys, the users have to swipe left on the video screen, and from there they can submit all the surveys quite easily. Similarly, to access module content that has been tagged as Spotlight, the users have to swipe left once more on the video screen, and from there they can consume all the chapters related to that particular module. As soon as they land inside the module, users can glide through the content of the chapters for it to be considered complete by the system. Moving on, stationed in the top left corner is the profile icon. The profile modification process in a mobile app is somewhat similar to the web app. The first and foremost thing that the users need to do is to click on the profile icon. Once the sidebar pops out, they'll have to click on the picture icon once again. Now towards the top right corner of the popped out window, the users have to click on the edit icon, and from there they can modify their details. Unlike in the web app, from this screen the users can only modify their name, mobile number, date of birth, address, and their bio. Once the details are modified, a user has to hit Done and the changes are saved. On the same sidebar, users can also set the app pen to add another layer of security, change their password, switch to a different time zone, access their contacts, and lastly, check for the latest updates without having to go to the Play Store or App Store. Furthermore, the users can use the logout option to log out of their application. Additionally, just below on the counter, users will have an option to connect with help desk or bot via chat, and at the same time they can also use the help icon for some guidance if they're stuck. Finally, if they want to share the app with any of their colleagues, they can do so leveraging the share icon. Stationed in the top right corner of the home screen is the search icon, which can be used to get the 360-degree data view of stores or users. The Store 360 feature can be used to analyze the data around compliance performance and completion performance of the stores for both processes and modules. To find any store data, the users have to type in the name of an active store in the search section. Using Store 360, along with process and module consumption data, the users can also see some external data with graphs and trend lines, provided the integrations for such data points are already in place. The User 360, on the other hand, can be used to see the data around compliance performance and completion performance of the users for various KPIs. To find any user data, the users have to type in the name of an active user in the search section. User 360 can be used to measure and track the usage patterns of all the users based on their utilization of various elements of the platform. Even in User 360, the users can see some external data with graphs and trend lines post-integrations. Unlike the web app, the To-Do icon on the mobile app only harbors content related to processes. To access their to-do list, users have to click on To-Do from the bottom counter. On this screen, users can select from the three tabs: Actions, Processes, and Requests. The processes that require further action after someone's submission and the ones that are requested by someone else are under the Actions and Requests tabs respectively, whereas the Process tab showcases the entire listing of all processes assigned to the users. In case the users find it difficult to search through the entire list to locate the process that they're trying to fill, they can use the search icon and color-coded groups to filter through the entire process listing. However, the groups will only show if the producers, while creating processes, have tagged them under a particular group. Furthermore, users can also use Sort by Filter option, which is stationed at the top right corner of the same screen, to sort processes based on due date. To filter processes based on group code, the users need to click on any color-coded group. Once the users are on the selected process screen, to access it, they need to tap on the tile once. In case there were any changes made in the process while the user was trying to access the process, it is advised to update a process once before starting it. This can be achieved by clicking on the small cloud icon, which is stationed next to the process name on the same tile. Once done, the users can move to the next screen by clicking on the process tile once. On the next screen, they can see the process objective, instructions, process creator's name, also 2 past, 1 current, and 3 future frequencies to choose from. Further down, they can select the entity against which they intend to give their submission by clicking on Fill For icon. In scenarios wherein there are more than one entities assigned to the users, they can use the drop-down icon to select the right entity and then hit Start to submit the form. Additionally, for processes wherein geolocation is enabled, the users will have to allow the location access on their device for the system to access and validate their location for process accessibility purposes. Moreover, the users will have to be within the configured geofence of the unit to be able to select the respective unit. By default, the system will not allow the users to fill the processes for future dates. However, they can fill it for any dates in the past. Additionally, for future date submissions, the producers will have to enable this functionality while configuring the process properties. Once the entity and the frequency is selected, the users need to hit Start to open the process. If created systematically, the users will see sections, subsections, and questions, and they'll have to register the responses against all types of questions that are mandatory. If need be, they can choose to leave the non-mandatory questions. The mandatory questions are marked with a small red dot. Moreover, if there are attachments that are mandatory, users cannot submit the process without uploading these files. Furthermore, there may be questions wherein the attachment options are set to all instead of a select few. In these scenarios, users can choose to upload either of the files, be it document, image, video, or an audio. To avoid any errors, users can also preview their submission before submitting the process by clicking on Preview icon, which is stationed at the top right corner of the same screen. Once the users are content with their responses, they can click on Submit button to submit the process. Depending on the size of the process and the number of file uploads, the system will take somewhere between 5 to 30 seconds to process the submission. It is recommended to stay on the same screen until the status changes from queued for submission to filled. Simultaneously, to view their submission record, users need to click on View Record. Just like in the web app, if the process has data edit feature enabled, the users can modify their submissions by clicking on the View Record and then Edit option, which is stationed in the top right corner of the record screen. From this screen, only the questions that have been enabled for editing can be edited. Once done, they need to hit Submit to update their submission. On the home screen, right next to To Do, is the Reports icon that allows the users to analyze different types of reports on the go. The Reports screen showcases processes, modules, and survey reports. From the Process tab, users can analyze process reports at a glance and work towards putting the right measures in place to improve the completion and compliance across various KPIs. This screen can also be used by the users to send reminders and set up various submission alerts. Moving on to the Modules tab. Over here, users can observe how people are advancing through the learning content. And users can also filter between My Own, My Team's, and Shared module content. Lastly, the Surveys tab. In this section, the users can track the daily survey consumption of users and learn what users say and think about various initiatives. Moreover, users can also filter between My Own, My Team's, and Shared survey content. To access the Talk feature on the mobile app, users have to click on the social icon on the counter below. Over here, the users can create new talks with teams and individuals. Also, they can attach files in various formats for every talk, and the recipients can endorse, contest, comment, and unfollow talks. In addition to that, they can also use various filters from About to access the open and closed talks and to create and manage teams. Pressing onto the Task tab, the users from this screen, leveraging various filters, can create and manage all the upcoming and overdue tasks assigned to them or others. Finally, from the Approvals tab, users can create approvals for anything ranging between documents, invoices, budgets, even purchase orders, and track the status of their approvals throughout their transition. To access various events on a user's calendar, they can click on calendar icon on the counter below and use various filters to filter through events, birthdays, and holidays. Lastly, stationed at the bottom right corner of the home screen is the Know icon. To access various learning content shared with them, users need to click on this icon from the counter below. On this screen, Own tab will house all the modules that have been created by the users, whereas the Assign tab will showcase all the modules assigned to the users. From the Assign screen, the users can easily figure out the name and the number of chapters that are part of the module. Users can always see the overall module consumption in the progress bar, which is right above the Assign tab on the Know screen. When the users click on any module, they can find out the individual chapters associated with the module and start consuming it quite easily. As soon as the users click on a chapter, they'll have to glide through the entire file for the chapter to be considered completely consumed and to add to their overall module progress. However, if there is a quiz associated to the chapter, then the users would need to pass the test in order to complete the chapter. Finally, users can also access their items related to To-Do, Reports, Calendar, Social, and Know from the snippet section that is stationed just below the video broadcast channel on the home screen. In closing, a few things that you should bear in mind whilst using the mobile app as a user. To access any content on a mobile app, live access is not necessary. However, for processing of the data, a stable network is required. For the process submissions, during network fluctuations, the submissions are saved automatically and users will have an option to restart the process from where they left off. While resetting a username or password, if you do not receive an OTP, shoot an email to help desk immediately. If your cell number is the username, while keying in your username, avoid using 00 and plus symbol before the country code. Also avoid keying in any spaces between the digits while entering the cell number as your username. To submit processes with geolocation enabled, always allow your location access on your device. If you've got any questions or concerns, drop a line to help@wooqer.com. Thank you.